Right now I'm trying to get tickets to a West End show tomorrow and possibly even another next week. But the internet connection is being very fickle and temperamental. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes. Fish and chips, fish and chips. I love to eat fish and chips. Mmm. Yummy. I figured I'd give you a bit of a tour of the neighborhood that I'm staying in. Okay, first things first. See that hotel right behind me? The Orchard Hotel? That's where I'm staying right now. I stayed there last year when I went to London, and I had such a positive experience when I stayed there. I figured that I just repeat history and do it again. It's cheap, but it's got really, you know, adequate conditions, and it's actually pretty nice for the price. And well, it's not exactly 5 stars. It is pretty top notch for what you get. Also a fact, this is actually the exact same neighborhood that I lived in when I studied abroad back in 2013. Also a point of note, the place where I am staying at is near Edgeware Road, where we're heading, as well as Paddington Station. Okay, we're going to start on one side of the road and work our way down. I don't know if you can see it or not because the glare's really bad, but this is one of 2 Costa cafes that's located on Edgeware Road that I used to go to. And a little up further that way, I'd go there, but right now I'm too lazy, is the Edgeware Road train stations. The Bakerloo line on Edgeware Road was actually closed when I studied abroad, so I usually used the other station for District and Hammersmith and Circle whenever I went out and about and wanted to use the tube station. But because I'm living closer to the Paddington tube station, I use that to go out and about now. But occasionally I'll use the Edgeware Road station if I am feeling a little nostalgic. If I wasn't going to Costa Cafe, I was going to Cafe Nero, right here. I would grab the occasional Big Mac at McDonald's. And if we look up here, Waitrose. This was where I used to buy all my groceries. And I still do. Now we're coming to the area I lived in when I studied abroad. Right up there, Ryman the stationer was where I would buy all of my stationery and supplies. This is Harrowby Street. I used to live right down here. And if I zoom in a little, if you see this spot right there, down the street was the apartment building where I stayed in. Unfortunately, I really don't want to go down any of those roads because I associate that place with some pretty bad memories, and I want this to be a happy vlog. So let's keep moving. This is the George Street bus stop. Every day I would come here and I would take either the 7 or the 98 bus, I believe it was those 2, to the building where my classes were held. Looky here, the second Costa Cafe. Right here is the Tesco Metro. Well, I did say I usually bought my groceries at Waitrose. Occasionally I would come here too. Before this building was put here a few years ago, there actually used to be an Odeon cinema in place of it, which housed a few other stores, including a Sainsbury's supermarket that I went to once or twice, or maybe even a few more times. I do believe my friends, a few of my friends also saw some movies there. I'll have to ask them about that though. And surprise! We come to the edge of the road, and at the corner, we've got Hyde Park. So there you have it. That's the neighborhood and part of the life I had when I was studying abroad. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go for a walk in the park now. Ew, now this is foul. Get it? Foul? That was terrible, I apologize. Right behind me is the Albert Memorial, one of my most favorite spots of London. This was one of the first areas that I visited when I studied abroad 6 years ago. Wow, it's even bigger than I remember it to be. Okay, so I debated on having dinner at the Whole Foods on High Street, Kensington, but I found this really beautiful place called Cafe Concerto nearby, and I decided to have some afternoon tea with some pressed apple juice here. Man, oh man, is this place beautiful.